Alrighty guys, so we are back live again. And everyone gets to eat while I speak. You said your name was Teresa? Alright. So, Teresa, you said you work with youth in your church? I do. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. So I get the pleasure of Today I get the pleasure, I'm going to be talking about traumedy. But I'll wait till more people come in. Okay. So I can understand. So go ahead and eat your food so you're cool. You can watch me here on YouTube. Let me show you what everyone's doing out here. Rocky's looking. Oh, look at her sneakers, guys. I love your sneakers, Rocky. I love the sneakers. Mason.
I can't wear two. You heard me talking about this.
I actually did turn down.
Where'd you get them from?
What, the shoes?
Hey.
Oh, the store that's beautiful in Jersey. Put it online. I'll give you one. You would love it. They have everything blinged out. So you guys get like 5 minutes. Go ahead, come on in. So I'm about to go live here. Everyone's getting their food, getting their stuff together here. Trisha! Trisha! Hey, sunshine! Good to see you. Yes, I got a live. Of course you do. I got a live going. We're gonna get started. Right over here, Sharon. Good. Hey.
Okay, this is a round table. Mentors, please pair up.
Hey there. What's your name?
Davina.
Davina.
Yes, I gotta get your information, and you know, I'll be here. I'm gonna go grab it.
Love it, love it. Yes. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Wonderful. What's your name?
Milton.
Milton. Tina, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
How did you
you.
actually hear about the event?
I know Christina.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, Christina, I did not come last year, and you said, Ramon, she said she found this out on Facebook, which I think is pretty cool. I was not here last year, but Teresa, I was told that last year it got a little confusing, not confusing, but they separated this year. So the children are on one side and the adults are on this side over here.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking with the adults and the parents. Sure. Here we go. I'm gonna just flip the camera around. There we go. So this year, hey! So this year they separated it so the parents are on this side. And today I'm gonna be giving parents and adults tips and tools to work with their children. Or like yourself, you said you work in church, right? Hello, how are you? Welcome, welcome. You guys feel free to eat your food, relax. Natasha, how you doing today? Yes. What's your name?
Dionysius.
Dionysius, beautiful. I'm Tina, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome up. Are you from Atlanta?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I saw the shirt then. Charleston, okay. Ramon, you can just have a seat and put it next to your food so you can just eat and everything.
Smart.
Yes, that's what I did the whole time. So this is live, just to let you guys know I'm on YouTube over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started while you're eating. If someone, you know what? I got time right here. So we have 45 minutes and this is gonna be interactive. So by the time I get to the interactive part, you'll be finished eating. Because I wanna give you guys some hands-on equipment and things like that to do. All right? Give me 1 minute, I wanna grab some stuff that I forgot.
Stars Tina just stepped out, so we are live with her at her event with Christina Howard. So I'm just waiting until she comes back, but that's where we're at right now. So hello, if you're here, we get ready to start shortly. So hope you're doing well. If you're joining here, Stars Tina is an amazing human. You can find her at Stars Tina, the Elite Experience. She's coming back
You
right
guys
now.
get to eat now.
She's right there.
I'm back. All right, so as I get started here, are you guys having a great time today? Sharon, are you enjoying yourself today?
Oh, tremendously.
Yes. Forgive me, what's your name again? I know I should remember your name because I talk to you like all the time.
All the time. Daniela.
Daniela. The crazy thing is I have like 3 or 4 clients named Daniela. So I'm definitely gonna remember your name. We have Rocky over there and her good friend Shaniqua.
Yes, Shanika.
Shanika, so good to meet you. Hello, come on and make yourself comfy. So my name is Tina. Some people call me Stars Tina. And I actually came up with that name because my entire life, as long as I can remember, I've always had big goals, big hopes and dreams. So I always think about it, shoot for the moon, and if you fall, you're amongst the stars. So that's kind of where the stars came in. And today I'm going to share with you a little bit about myself and my story so you know where I'm coming from. Traumedy. Has anyone ever heard of the word trauma? Trauma? Raise your hand, can I see? I know you're eating, so go ahead and eat. Trauma. The second thing is tragedy. We've all had some type of tragedy. I decided to put those two words together and create a word called traumedy. And a traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide. When this happens, life-changing experiences occur. And I believe everybody goes through it. Has anyone gone through a trauma in their life? Okay. Now, being this is for the youth, it feels as if God is just planting something into my soul, because now I'm actually speaking to youth children about traumedy. Last week I spoke to about 150 students, 2 different schools, about traumedy, because I feel if we start with the youth to give them tools and skills to overcome that, their life will be a lot better. Now, we talk about experts and, you know, that whole thing. So when it comes to traumedy, I say I'm an expert because God has gifted me, and I say gifted because if I didn't think about it that way, I'd probably crumble in a ball, not come into the house. God has gifted me with so many traumedies. Going back from being a young child and thinking about committing suicide over something stupid, over a boyfriend breaking up with me. Like, really, Tina? And I think about that now, and I was told that your brain doesn't develop all the way when you're 15 and 14 and 16. And I had a loving home. Let me tell you, I had the best home life. But as a child, that little thing got to me. And then as I got older, being in relationships that may have been abusive. Again, these are things that God has gifted me. And I believe that God gave... Sharon, can you shut the door for me, please, sweetie? You left the door open? Thank you, sweetheart. Oh, look at the men. That's what I'm talking about. Those are gentlemen. They ran over to shut the door. You gotta love that. Yeah, so God has gifted me my entire life with all different things. And I've been running, guys. I've been running and running and running. And I realized you can't keep running, right? Anyone here a daddy's girl? Do we have any daddy's girls in the building? Like, you're okay, all right? That was me. Me and my daddy were so close. And when he was 49 years old, around that age, that's when I was going to school for fitness. And I was taking my classes for nutrition. And I'm studying for my test. Remember, I'm in my truck, and my father was a construction worker. He was dark-skinned. He looked just like me, but he was dark-skinned. And he did construction work. He'd build houses, paint stuff. I'd be with him all the time. And we're in his van, and he named his business Katina's Construction. That's my real name. It's like Katina's Construction. That sounds stupid, but it was his baby girl, right? And I remember I was in the truck, in the van. It was a gray van. It smelled, you know, just all the tools. And I'm like studying. I'm like, Daddy, everything on this list you have. You're black, you smoke cigarettes, you eat bad food, you have high blood pressure, you have like every single thing on there. You're gonna die. I'm saying this to him, and he's just driving. And this was my dad, smoking back in the day, you know, it was the cool. He'd light one cigarette with the next cigarette. Wow. So chain smoker. My father died at the age of 49 years old. Let me tell you, that took me in a whirlwind, and I wasn't even in America at the time. And this is where I say where God has gifted me, like he knows where to put me. I was in a whole nother country when my father passed away, because I can guarantee you, if I got that phone call, I would have ran to his house, laid on his body, and it would have been horrible. It was still horrible, but not as horrible as that. Again, God gifted me with that. When I came back to America, I'm speeding up these stories really quick, I ended up in a psychiatric hospital for 8 weeks. Not 8 hours. Now, mind you, when I was younger, I was in it for a day or two from the committing suicide thing, but 8 weeks. They said, you are going to be on medication for the rest of your life. Wow. And I legit, like, I was walking around like this. Everything was slow. And you'll see my personality. I'm here, right? And I remember I was having dinner with my family, and I was just looking around the table. And I was like, will I ever be normal again? And then one day I said, you know what, that's it. I'm not taking this medication anymore. I do not suggest, do not stop taking your medications, because some people do need that. I stopped the medication. And I always say it's the mindset that did it for me, all right? Again, God gifted me with these things right here. Fast forward, life is going. I was a single mom, 2 beautiful children, and Newark, New Jersey is where I lived. Not a good area. And the only thing I kept thinking of was, I want better for my kids. So I ended up moving to Rahway, New Jersey. Great town. And I am a go-getter. Being a single mom and child support of $20 a month really doesn't do that much for you. So I had 2 tree jobs. You think I was a Jamaican, okay? I was here, work. So I really, I really didn't get to see my kids that much. But they saw me. They saw me working on, remember one time I was selling fake perfume in a parking lot. Anyone ever see those people? They run up to you, hey, what's your favorite perfume? Who won a Polo Sport or Juke? That was me, all right? I'd have my kids I had a station wagon, they'd be in the trunk, I'd be in the parking lot, running up to people, selling perfume. They always saw me doing this right here. So my children, they were the same way. All right? And I never ever said, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. I kind of like gave my children the freedom to express themselves to do what they want to do. Rocky said this the other day, I don't know where she was, but she was saying a lot of people say you have to be strict with your kids and you can't be their friends, and you can't be this, and you can't be that. I've always had that close connection, and some people didn't really get it. So my daughter, she did everything, but she really wants to be a dancer. She's doing amazing. My son said he wanted to sell sneakers. Sell sneakers? What are you talking about? But I didn't say anything. He didn't want to go to college. He opened up a store in town. He pretty much went to the owner, can I have some space there? So he did that. That store failed. He brought all these sneakers back into the house. I know nothing about sneakers. Remember one time I was going out with this guy and he came to my house and he was like, Tina, do you know how much that's worth? He's looking at all the sneakers. I had no idea. So again, someone said it in there, who are you surrounding yourself, right? Your vibe is your tribe, your vibration. And when my kids were younger, I instilled with them the importance of the people you surround yourself. I never say you're better than anyone else, you're this, you're that, because pretty much my thing was I wanted them to be raised in one town, because me as a child, we moved from town to town. I was born in New Jersey, then I went to Patterson, Hackensack. We moved down south, then it was Columbia, then it was that homeless shelter, then it was here, then back. I moved a lot, and I didn't like it. So for me, I said, we're gonna stay in this one town. Now we did move about 10, 20, 30 times maybe in that one town. And you could tell when Tina had a good job, we lived in that condo. When it wasn't, okay, we lived over there. But it was in that one little town. And everyone knew everyone. So my son had this dream of having this sneaker store, and he surrounded himself with people in the industry. And I definitely believe it was social media, because he would always have his phone in his hand like this. And it was another person in Staten Island, ghost somebody who was in sneakers, and he connected with that person. And this is him at 17, 18 years old, connected with this person to partner up. Again, I'm like, I have no idea. And I had a modeling and talent company. I love children. I did pageants, fashion shows, all that sort of stuff. So I had my office space upstairs. And my son wanted the office space downstairs. And he's like, Mom, can you talk to the owner of the building so I can get the space downstairs? I said, Jamal, I am 3 months behind in rent. My credit is bad. He's like, just ask anyway. So I asked the owner and he said, sure. So children are wise, let me tell you guys. He went to the space downstairs. He got a graffiti artist who had done graffiti in Missy Elliott's house. No idea how he did it. But on one wall, he had Kobe and Michael Jordan. On the other wall, he had Biggie. He had these huge TVs. I walk in, I'm like, I'm upstairs struggling. And he had this big machine, like when you go to Atlantic City and the hand comes down and scoops up sneakers, charging $20 a pop, lines out the door. I'm like, where did he get this from? Right? And last memory I'm going to share with you, we're driving down the road once and he had a bag of from the bank, and he gives it to me. And he said, pick it up, Mom. And I'm looking at the money. I'm like, how much is this? Oh, it's $10,000. I said, what? He says, I want you to know what it feels like to hold $10,000. I'm like, where in the world did you get that from? But he had people invest with him. So I don't know much about drugs or things like that, but apparently you buy drugs and you sell them and make more money. What he did was he would buy sneakers and then sell them for more money. So many times this was back in the day when you had to line up for the sneakers and wait in these long lines. Can't tell you how many times I had to go into a shop, buy sneakers. Okay, let me put this over here. All right, I need sneakers again. He had us all over town, me, my mother, my daughter, buying sneakers. His business in Rahway, New Jersey, it flourished. He was 18 when he started, and it was rolling. It was rolling, it was going. And people come together when things are going good. He opened up another location in Pennsylvania. Now, the location he was at, there was another space in the back, and his goal was to expand it. All right? And my son was very expressive. You see my personality? Think of that times 10. So one Friday night, before I get to that, imagine your perfect life, right? Everything is going good. And at this time, my life was wonderful. I was in the fitness industry, teaching all over the place. My daughter, she was a professional dancer for the Knicks dance team. She was traveling. And then one Friday night, I get this phone call, and they're like, something happened to Molly, get to Rahway. That's what's nickname, we call him. Now, at first, I didn't think about anything about it, because does anyone here get crazy phone calls about their kids? I always got it, from the car accidents to, it was so many things. So at first, I didn't think about it until my daughter called and she's screaming, "Get to Rahway now!" Now, this was a perfect day for me. That morning, I would always drive him to school because one of his traumaties was he was blind in one eye because, I don't even remember, keratoconus was the name of it. And I was driving him to work and he was sitting in the car, and we'd call these mommy-son times. So every morning, we'd be sitting in there and he's telling me about his life. His girlfriend Tati, I'm gonna have 5 kids, I'm gonna do this. He wanted to move to California, and he had long, beautiful locks. I loved his hair. And he kept saying, "I'm gonna cut my hair, I'm gonna cut my hair." I'm like, no. And then one time he went to California because that's where he wanted his next shop. It was East Coast kicks. He wanted to have that West Coast kicks, and he cut his hair off. And I said, "Why did you do that?" And he said, when he went to California, the business owners would not respect him. 21-year-old. So he cut his hair off, and this morning was amazing. I'm driving him to work, and the new Lil Wayne CD came out. You guys know it's a lot of cursing. I don't like cursing, and he knew I didn't like cursing, so he was blasting the radio. I'm like, "Turn it down!" And he's over there doing his thing and whatever. And then I get him to the shop, and I look over to him, and he looks at me and he smiles. And his smile was so beautiful. And it was summertime, it was February, so it was super cold outside. But there was this ray of sunlight that just kind of went across his face. And he looked over at me, and I said, "You sure do, your smile, your teeth sure do look white today." That's what I said to him. Beautiful smile. Gave me on the cheek, said, "I love you, Ma," and then jumped out the car. That is a beautiful memory, isn't it? So life was great. I leave there, I go out to, what town is that? Lovely. Princeton that night with my girls. We're hanging out. Hey, I had just met this guy 2 weeks prior. So like, I'm gonna hang out with him tonight. So I'm at his house. We're hanging out, and I get these phone calls. I'm like, he was in the bathroom. I gotta go. And I left. So I'm driving down the highway. And again, I have no idea what's going on. I'm like, my daughter, she's in New York at a game. She's literally leaving New York City from the Knicks City game to come to Rahway. So I call his father. I said, call the hospitals, call the police stations, nothing. I called the mayor of the town because him and I were friends. And I said, "What's going on with Jamal?" And I remember I was passing by Menlo Park Mall where that little diner is. And I'm driving down the highway and I'm freaking. Now I'm starting to freak out because I'm like, nobody knows. I'm calling him, no answer. I called, nothing. And then he's like, the mayor says to me, "Well, come to my office," which is City Hall. I'm like, why does he want me to go to City Hall? So I go to City Hall. City Hall is closed. Why he told me to do that? But I went to the police station, and I run in the police station. Now my real name is Katina Wilson, but everyone calls me Tina. So I run in, and I'm like, "Where's my son?" And they're like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Tina Wilson." And he just kind of looks at me. "What is your name?" And then he's like moving really slow, and I'm just like anxious. He's not saying anything, so I leave. Forgot my keys, had to go back, so I start speeding down the street. It's just down the road. And when I get to the block, I see yellow and black construction tape blocked off the whole street. I see lights from the ambulance, the police cars. It's super cold outside, and there's like tons of people standing out. So when I'm sitting here, I'm looking down the street, still no idea what's going on. Has anyone ever gone through this in their life? Something's going on and you have no idea what to expect. So I get out the car, and my daughter's still on the phone with me because she's like, "Don't get off the phone." Her and her brother are 2 years apart, so she's super close to him. She's like, "Hold on to the phone." So I start running down the street, and I'm running, and I see the door to the shop, and I go to pull it, and a police officer grabs me. And I'm like trying to get him off, and he's like, "You can't go in there." So then I just start walking around. Where's my son? Nobody's saying anything. Everyone's standing like this. Nobody's telling me anything. So I finally see these 2 police officers. It's a man and a woman. And I said to the man, "Where is my son?" And he looks at me and he says, "I'm sorry, miss, your son is dead." So I have my phone in my hand, I throw the phone down, I start screaming. And at that moment, it's like time stood still. And I realized, okay, Tina, you gotta make a decision. Because I thought back to when my father passed away, and I ended up in that psychiatric hospital for 8 weeks. And that was horrible, let me tell you, that was horrible. And I was like, you have to make a decision now. Either you're gonna pull through this, or you're just gonna go down the rabbit hole. And I made that decision to push through, even though it was like horrible, horrible. I'm gonna fast forward to where we are today. It's gonna be 8 years next month that this happened. And can I tell you, it feels like it was just last week? But again, this is something that was gifted to me from God. So as the next few days after that, I would talk to people. I want to know about my son, tell me more. And I heard all of these beautiful stories. Because when he was around me, he was jumping all over the place, smacking, just being, I'm like, Jamal, what are you doing? He's like, why are you acting like this? He's like, yo, mom, check it out. You see, when I'm at the shop, I gotta be professional. So when I'm home, he was wilding and just like, I'm like, okay. So when people told me the things he did, like he was talking to youth about starting businesses. He was a part of the YMCA, he was doing all these things. And then one of his friends said, he said if anything ever happened to him, if they were talking about this, if they ever died, he wanted a boys program named after himself. So the following month, I started one. Now the crazy thing is when you want something really bad, you know how I say your why should be so big it makes you cry? Now when I had my modeling company, I had that for like 7 or 8 years. I was like, I want to be nonprofit. It never happened for 7 or 8 years. But then I hear my son wanted it. My son is gone. I did it right away. All right, so I went to this superintendent's office of the school in Rahway. I said I wanted to do this program. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that when he was a little boy, I would send him to a program called the Mr. Rogers program. And he'd go there every Saturday, and they taught him skills and all this wonderful stuff. So I wanted to do a boys program, but I wanted to make it so men could, learn how to tie a tie, open the door for ladies, like all these great things. So I had different men from the community come in and teach them. Fast forward to COVID, that stopped, so we've just been giving scholarships after that. Now we're going on to 8 years now, right? So being a part of Breakfast with Champions is amazing. And right after it, you're probably saying, well, how did you get through this, Tina? How did you get over it? Well, first of all, I just kind of went back into regular mode. Like the next week or two, I went right back to work. And the funeral, I remember before the funeral when you go shopping for clothes, I'm like, I gotta get some cool shades. Because that was kind of our therapy too, going shopping, me and my daughter. So I bought these beautiful Versace glasses for the funeral. I didn't cry at all. Not a lick of tears. You know why? Because so many people were coming up to me. The children crying, Miss Tina, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. So I was still, I guess, holding all of that stuff in. And last year was probably the first time I actually felt all the feels from 2016, because I was doing an event in New Jersey. Every August I would do an event because that's his birthday, and then every February I would do an event. And my daughter, she's amazing. We do like vendor events, we did basketball tournaments, all sorts of things we've done. And this particular year, I didn't want to be all over the place. I felt super scatterbrained. I was just like, so I said to my daughter, I want to take some type of drug, because I know they have these drugs you can take to just calm you down, Xanax or something. I don't know what it is. And she's like, Ma, I'd rather you take a gummy or something like that. I don't want you taking some kind of drug or something. She's like, go to the store and get a gummy. She did not tell me you were supposed to take half the gummy. She didn't tell me. Mind you, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that stuff. So I take this gummy, and we're getting a poster, and I'm in the car, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So I call her, and I'm like, I'm freaking. She's like, get to some grass. Go to some grass and get grounded. So the person that was in the car, I'm like, go to Rahway, take us to the park. Can you believe this huge park? The one spot he decided to park the car was the spot where we had his, what I call, death birth. The year he died in February. That August, we had a birthday party, death birth, for him in this same spot. Wow. So as I'm here, I have my socks off, I'm there, and it's like the sun was right in front of me, and I could feel all the feels from 2016, when I didn't cry at the funeral, when people were like, not making fun of me, but yelling at me because Facebook was my therapy, guys, let me tell you. My daughter was like, Mom, you have to stop crying on Facebook, but that was my therapy, that's how I got through. Someone actually said, like, they were yelling at me for smiling, because my daughter and I, we were smiling, we were happy, because we said, he's up there saying, you better get it together, Mom, like, come on, So I was feeling good. So as I'm in this park, I'm screaming at myself. I'm like, what mother doesn't cry at her son's funeral? So I'm like reliving all those things from 2016. Guys, it got deeper. I don't suggest the gummies, if so, take half. But as I was there, it felt like I just kept going back more and more of every single trauma in my life. From my sister not crying when my father died and me being mad at her. Because low key, I was mad that she wasn't as upset as I was about our father dying. I'm like, why aren't you crying? But I don't know what she went through. 4 Agreements, make sure you read that book. I don't know what they are right now, but that's something that'll help you, the 4 Agreements. I was assuming all these things. Then it went back to like my mother when she was in an abusive relationship, when my parents got divorced, when my mother, like I even went back to slavery, guys. It was deep. Wow. It was deep. And it's like the negative energy was on this side and the sun was on this side. And I felt like I was in that Poltergeist movie, Turn Into the Light. And I was like, go into the light, Caroline. And then it was like, someone pull me this way. And then the guy that was with me, he was just standing on the side like,
Yeah, geez.
he was just on the street. You know, and I'm talking to these people. And then it's like these feelings and emotions inside of me. Long story short, I had to face the trauma, I had to face the traumas, I had to face the fears. And then yoga was the one thing that really, 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 really helps me. And meditation, being still. And it's funny because you think you're cured, you think you're better, right? At least I thought I was until about 2 or 3 days ago when my daughter gave me another smack in the face. So I talked earlier about running, right? Running away from the fear, running away from the pain. And with the children, I wrote this book right here. And in the book, I have some out there if you want to purchase them. Thank you. It's a little bit of my story, but mainly how I got through the pain. I talk about mindset in this book. I talk about the last part, which is the greatest, the tools, the skills, and the strategies to push you through the pain. It's about 20 different things you can do. I'm going to give us an exercise today. But when this book launched, which was in October or November, someone called me and she was like, Tina, something happened out of college, blah, blah, blah. You should talk to kids. You should talk to college students, because that's what I do. I want to be a motivational speaker. I am a motivational speaker. I am, yes, thank you, Dr. Jeannie. And why do I want to do this? I want to change the world. I know it sounds very hokey dokey. Why do I want to change the world? So that Jamal Gaines, who was murdered in 2016, and we still don't know who did it, his death is for a reason. That is why I need and I will change the world. So when the book came out, she's like, you should talk to children. So I called the school system in Rahway, New Jersey, and I told them my whole story, whatever, whatever. Now, when I had my program, it was for 7th and 8th graders. And she says, well, Tina, we need something for the 5th and 6th graders, because when they transition to the middle school, it's very challenging for them. Do you work with girls as well? And I was like, yeah, I had a modeling company now, but I was really with the boys. So last week was my first week speaking with them. And my daughter is amazing, so she was supposed to come, but she lives in California now. You know how you Hollywood people are. It's too cold, it's snow. But you know, we did it together in my mind, and I had the children there. And the first thing I had them do, and I want you to think about that right now, is how are you feeling? A lot of people say, how are you doing? But how are you feeling? And my purpose, I had this big emoji board with different faces, and I was just asking them, what do you feel? Because a lot of people and children don't know how to express how they're feeling, and then it comes off all wrong. So that was the first part of the thing, is really figuring out what it is you're feeling, and then why are you feeling that? That was the first thing that I taught them. And when you can really tap into those feelings and those emotions, then you can think back. And as I said recently, as of yesterday on the plane, because gotta be honest, crew, 2024, it's starting off super rocky, but I'm excited about that. You know why? Because the tough times, that's when Tina gets stronger, you know? So I'm rising up, and she's like, Mom, stop running. You've been running. This is my daughter, she's 31 years old. She's like, I've been watching you my entire life. Stop running. What is she talking about? Relationship to relationship to relationship? Because I'll break up with one guy and then like go to the next one and go to, stop running, Mom. And she said, what you're feeling is you're running away from the pain of the divorce of your parents back in the day. And I'm just like, how do you know this? What are you talking about? And she said, because I've done the work for you, Mom. She's done a lot of work. She's done it all. So as I was on the plane yesterday, I'm like, she's talking about. So I just sit there on the plane and I'm thinking, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. And I remember we lived in South Carolina. I don't remember my parents ever once having an argument. I never saw an argument. I never heard them curse. Like I said, our childhood was wonderful. And one day, all I remember is we moved from South Carolina and we left my dad and we went back to New Jersey. Wow. Just like, Okay. Nothing was said, but we had a whole house full of people, so it was fun. And then my mother was gone. She left to go live with her boyfriend. Again, I didn't think about it at the time because our house had so much fun. And when she did come, and Mommy, if you're watching this, I apologize. In my mind, I asked you if I could share this story, so I'm sharing it. Whenever she would come and visit us, she would have black and blues in her eyes, swollen, just like all beat up, like horrible. Again, we never talked about it. Nothing was ever said. Just let's ignore this, let's ignore this. Yeah. So I have forgiven my mother and my father for whatever they've gone through, so I can finally stop running. So I believe with the children, we want to start with, how are you feeling? And then from them, I taught them I am statements. And it was so cute watching them. And I had them do a little exercise. After the I am statements, I taught them what that was. Raise your hand if you know what an I am statement is. Do we all know it? Yes? Do you know what it is? Okay, so an I am statement, for me, everyone has their own definition, is something that you say to yourself to motivate you, to inspire you, to get you moving, to get you going. And I have this great thing that I like to do. Say your I am statements 5 times a day. I don't do that now, but at one point I did. 5 times a day. So right now, I want every one of us, I'm gonna come around the room, I want you to think of an I am statement for you. These are things that you say to yourself to inspire you. For example, mine is, I am amazing. All right, and I'm gonna talk about that I am amazing really quick, because when you ask the average person, how you feeling? How you feeling?
Amazing, that's my
Okay,
word
I
too.
love it, I love it.
That is my word.
I love it. The average person will say, I'm fine. So let's think about that word fine, okay? I'm fine. You might as well be dead if you're fine, right? Who wants to be fine? It's horrible, right? So when you're fine, you're really not so good. When you say you're good, you're really fine. When you're great, you're really good. So I always say, I am amazing. I shared that with my niece, and it's like brainwashing, right? I just keep saying it. So I am amazing, I am strong, I am powerful, I am beautiful. Put them in your mirror in the bathroom. Always say these to yourself, talking to yourself. So Sharon, 5 times a day, right? I would set an alarm in my phone, and I would just say that. Because sometimes we get scared of doing big things, right? Like changing the world. Visionary, visualization, thank you. Vision boards, anyone ever do a vision board? Sharon, please, yes, okay. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was in Florida because I'm thinking of moving there. And I'm like, are you really gonna do this, Tina? And when I think about the things that I want in life, I always say, I want my bedroom to be right outside the ocean, so when I wake up, I see the ocean. Last night, when I was looking, it was dark, but I could hear the ocean. I was like, oh my gosh, this might even be true one day. Like maybe I could really have my own house and my room, and there's the ocean right there. I was really feeling it. And then this morning when I got up and I felt the sun, so you have to visualize these things. So the I am statements are, I am amazing. So I'm gonna go around the room and I just want one from each and every one of you. I am strong.
Amazing.
Amazing. Strong.
Resilient.
Resilient. Victorious. What about you? I am powerful. I am man. Hear me roar. Oh! What about you?
Outstanding.
I am outstanding.
I am powerful.
I am powerful. I am beautiful. I love it. What about you, Daniela? I'm excited. Woo! I'm what?
I am unstoppable.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. You have to say it from your gut. You have to feel it. You can't just say it. You have to feel it. You have to embrace it. All right? Move with it. What about you?
I'm brilliant.
I'm brilliant. Ooh, he's brilliant, guys. What about you? He's funny. I love it. Give me one. I am amazing. What about you? That's a Jamaican man. That's a Jamaican in the back.
I am worthy.
I am worthy. And you know what? I love that one right there. Because sometimes we don't know our worth. Am I the only one that you don't know your worth? It's like, you know what? I'm just happy that they're listening to me. No. What about you?
I am enough.
I am enough. Woo, woo, woo. More than enough. What about you?
I am loved.
I am loved. What about you?
I am blessed.
Blessed. I love it. So what I had the children do is I gave them, you were eating, I don't want to stop.
I am connected.
I am connected.
You have confidence.
Okay, thank you for that.
This is how it tends to.
Perfect. So what I had the kids do is I had them have a Post-it and put their I am statements, and I had them come up on the board and put them up there, and I read them back to them. After the I am statements, I taught them a skill. I had them do a little questionnaire, right? Because I wanted to find out what challenges they have. I didn't want to say traumas or tragedies. What challenge do you have as children that you can't get through? And most of them were talking about like their siblings and stuff like that. And then some of them talked about bullying and all that sort of stuff. So then I taught them one skill. I talked about a few, but one thing to help them get through their challenges, and it was breath work. Anyone here ever heard of breath work? Okay, so I'm a fitness professional, life and health coach. That is my main jam. And I work with women that are over 40, and we have an amazing community. And we work together. And what I do is, with my one-on-one, I teach you how to overcome your traumas. So the first thing I'm going to do right now for all of us in the room, so you can have a takeaway for today, is I'm going to teach you a breath work exercise. So whatever you have in your hand, drop it down. Come to the edge of your seat. Come to the edge, come on, edge of your seat. Very good. This way, when someone says, how did you do, Tina? I'm going to say I had them at the edge of their seats. So I want you to put your hands on your palms, and I want you to put your palms up if you feel like you need energy from the universe. Sometimes you're just feeling down, all right? And if you feel you're all over the place and you can't keep still, put your palms down. And if you have no idea where you are, just put one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, all right? And I want you to roll your shoulders back and take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. So I'm going to teach you something called lion's breath. I invite you to close your eyes. And in this moment right here, we're going to visualize when you inhale, I want you to inhale love, peace, happiness. Think of all the things that make you smile. Maybe it's rainbows, unicorns, chocolate cake, whatever it is that makes you feel good. And when you exhale, I want you to let go of all the pain, all the hurt. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, let it out. Keep your eyes closed, please. We're going to go a little bit deeper on this last one. I'm going to teach you something called lion's breath. Now, with the lion's breath, when you exhale, you're going to open up your mouth as wide as you can. Stick out your tongue and exhale. So inhale through your nose. Open your mouth side out. Very good, Rocky. We're going to do that one more time. Do not be afraid to stick your tongue out. You are the lion. Okay, inhale through your nose. Side out. That is the one key takeaway I want you to take today to overcome your traumas or tragedies. It makes it so much easier when you just take that little breath of fresh air. And there's some other things I have out there. Probably noticed I wear a lot of bracelets here. These are stones. During COVID, I started making stones. Candles, if you have candles at home. Some people like sage. I don't like the smell of sage. Palo Santo is great. You burn it and you just get rid of all the negative energy. I have some angel wings out there, but my most favorite that I want to show you guys are my rounding stones. I have different stones. This one says inspire. And I have a whole bunch of them out there. For me, I carry the one Grace, and I hold these in my hand because you need an anchor in life. And sometimes I'll just hold on to my necklace right here when I need to get grounded for some peace and some energy. So with that being said, in closing, it's very important that you tap into your feelings and teach your children how to tap into their feelings, because sometimes they don't know how to express them. How are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? And then give them some type. These children were talking about journaling and meditation. I'm like, how old are you? So it's never too young to teach the youth how to overcome these feelings and get them to communicate. Again, I am Tina. I hope you've learned something from me today. If you're looking for a community, sorry, this is for the ladies. If you're looking for a community of like-minded women that bond together when it comes to finances, when it comes to education, relationships, fitness is our main thing, okay? Let me tell you, we're always working out. Join us. I do one-on-one coaching. Last year, I did a retreat to Bermuda, and this year we're going even deeper. I'm doing 3 retreats this year to just kind of make the experience even bigger. Because one-on-one is cool, right? The group coaching is cool, but to get out of the area, right? I always say your vibe is your tribe, but then your area, where you are, your surroundings, you gotta get out of those surroundings to go deeper. Imagine doing this breath work in Roatan, Honduras, or in Bermuda. My daughter and I did a retreat last year to Bermuda. It was very quiet and hush-hush because we just wanted to keep it private and intimate. And can I say, it was so beautiful. I was playing the flippin' well I forget what you call those things, but I was doing good with it. And she was doing some African chant, and we didn't know the African chant, so we were doing kumbaya, going around the room. It was amazing. So we're having 3 of them, and then Costa Rica, I'm partnering with Mindy to do that, Dr. Dale for the other. And again, these are just to expand and grow who we are, because you don't know what you don't know. So I want to invite you to my community. If you're watching me here on YouTube, subscribe. Everything is I Am Stars Tina. I am amazing. You're amazing. Thank you very much. Now I can eat. Thank you so much, Ramon. Yes, everywhere. Stars Tina, STARZ Tina.